Jim Toth on 680 CJOB.
Hello, Jim. How are you on a free-for-all Friday?
Free-for-all Friday. Always good on a free-for-all Friday. It's the weekend. It's going to be hot, just like I like it. And it's going to be hot takes today at 780-6868 on Free-for-all Friday.
Phone lines are open. Text line is open. Shoot us a call. Give us a text, 204-780-6868. And yes, I did intend to say it that way. I need to discuss something first. And it has to do with, I like to use AI. I'm a cutting edge broadcaster, Jim Toth. I like to.
You're at the forefront.
I'm at the forefront.
Do you have one of those vision things you play video games with that make it look real? Do you walk around your home?
Walk around the house like that, yeah.
And swing away and knock over planters and stuff?
Yeah, I do that. Yeah.
You're advanced.
I'm advanced. And I want to get into something, but I got to do this first. Jets at Noon is brought to you by Wash Method Car Wash, 690 St. Anne's Road. VIP take on the text line to win a VIP car wash from my good friends at Wash Method, 204-780-6868. We'll announce the winner later in the program as we're coming at you live from the Boston Pizza Studio for gourmet pizza and pasta. Bring the team to Boston Pizza. And I've also seen what I want to talk about. Okay. And we've had a couple of texts over the last few days that wanted to speak about this specifically. And both times I've said, no, this is not real. This is fake. This is totally untrue. And then I'll just go, oh, okay, that's fine. But this is something we're going to have to deal with a lot more. And it has to do with something that was going on. It was going viral and like on TikTok and social media about a trade that the Winnipeg Jets had supposedly taken part in with the St. Louis Blues. And in this video is Kevin Cheveldayoff, and this is all AI, by the way. This is not true. If you're just turning on your radio, this has not happened. Okay?
An AI-generated trade with
It is
quotes?
an AI. It is Kevin Cheveldayoff's face in front of, like when he's sitting down, and behind him is, the Winnipeg Jets like they would during a media conference, right? The whole background, all that. And on this AI-generated video is Kevin Cheveldayoff saying that they've traded Connor Hellebuck to the St. Louis Blues for Jordan Binnington, a second-round pick, and another player. Okay. This is not true. This is AI. But I've had three people at least reach out to me, Jim, and ask about it and say, did this actually happen? It says, no, it is an AI-generated video. This has not happened. This is not true.
So I'm not tech savvy, but when an AI video comes out, I'm like, that is really crisp and you can sort of tell.
Yeah, you can
and
tell.
I'm not tech savvy.
And I'm telling you, in 2 years' time, you won't be able to tell.
But you're not going to do that trade. In the division, the reigning league MVP to your division rival.
Well, you'd never do it. You wouldn't trade Connor Hellebuck.
No. Like, is Connor McDavid going to the Calgary Flames anytime soon?
You're trading Connor Hellebuck at $8.5 million until 2031. Three-time Vezina, Hart Trophy.
When they raise his jersey to the rafters when he's in his 40s or 50s, they're going to owe him money.
Yes.
It'd be like one of those charity presentation checks just to go, thank you for all your years of service at $8.5 million.
But if you ever see any of these crazy AI-generated videos, just come see me. Send me an email, cam@cjob.com.
The other side of this is there are many organizations that need volunteers. There are many helpful ways you could be spending your time. I don't want to knock the AI generating people that are having fun with this and stuff, but if this is what you're doing with your free time and then putting it out to the public to deceive or make things look, there's other things you could be doing with your time, in my opinion.
Well, I would agree with that, Jim Toth.
There's a shelter that could use some help. There's a There's got to be somebody in your neighborhood that needs their lawn mowed that is too old to do it anymore.
But we've had people.
There's a dog that needs walking
because, and I would say this is like people.
I can't make it to the beer store all the time. Go get me a flat. I'll pay you for it.
I'm just saying, this is going to be something we talk about more and more often, Jim.
Yeah,
that's why I wanted to bring it up.
Yeah, fair enough.
There's going to be stuff like this that are going to come out, and everything's going to have to be verified.
You know what, Cam? Though it's a tough conversation too. We'll get to Nick here. Nick, hang on one second. But it's a tough conversation too. Like the one I feel bad for is like my parents. My parents will come to me and say, "I read this online," and I'll be like,
"Yeah,
it's a hard conversation." Like if your buddy does it, it's really easy to go, "Dude, that's not real. Wake up," right? Yeah. But you can't. You got to be polite, and then they feel guilty. It's why I get irate when there's the phone scams with seniors.
Yeah,
because they just have this depressed feeling about being duped.
That's why that's why a lot of times they don't say anything.
How dare you take advantage of people like that?
Yeah. Let's get to Nick. Hey, Nick, welcome to Free For All Friday. How are you?
Good afternoon on the Free For All Friday.
Nick, I can read your mind. You're going to ask about that video on AI, and it's not true.
Well, no, it's close. But I just wanted you to maybe recap who we signed, like this, the goalie from the Capitals. Is that true? Like maybe recap all the things that people that have been signed, their positions, their credentials, stuff like that.
Oh, you want like a full?
There's another story out there that they signed a goalie from the Capitals.
Yeah.
Well, let's.
I don't think that's true at all.
They've done a few transactions. There's been some signings. Yeah, I mean, am I missing something?
Gabe Vilardi got a deal, 6 years, $7.5 million. Ford Parker got a 2-year deal, $812 million. Tyrell Bauer was re-signed at two-way $775. Morgan Barron has a 2-year deal at $1.85. Isaac Phillip, the defenseman they acquired in a late deal, I believe, at the deadline. Depth defenseman, $812,000. And other than that, that's all they've done so far.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
Appreciate it, though, Nick.
Yeah. Was there a? I'm not.
Oh, and there's some young guy named Jonathan Taves they've brought in as well. I hope he works out. He might be a player, but that's all I've heard. I don't know like where the deeper conversation is. And to your point, Nick, like people always reach out and go as I follow the insiders. The legitimate insiders like Drager and Friedman and Frank Cervelli and David Pagnotta. And I keep it limited to that, right? If somebody who's a St. Louis Blues reporter breaks a story, great for them, and I'll check the validity of it. And then the Jets, right? Like I often hear about Jets moves, and then within the hour, they send an email to us in the media that confirms what they've done. And like Kelly Moore's point in this day and age is accurate. Like we sort of at 680 CJOB until it's made official by the Jets. Like if Elliot Friedman puts something out, we go according to reports. And then once we get the official email, we go, the Jets have done this, confirmed. But all the other stuff, and it's just my way of doing it, right? But I have these discussions with my family about just general news stories. They're like, oh, the government did blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, well, where'd you hear it? And I actually encourage, like, I know people are down on mainstream media. I'll even point to our other mainstream medias. I point to ours, like go to Global CGOB for confirmation, but I go, even if you don't want to, go to the other mainstream media sources because they're the ones that do the process like we do. We wait for confirmation or at least two sources that say this is happening.
Yeah. So thanks a lot for the call. Appreciate it, Nick.
You bet.
Yeah, 204-780-6868, 204-780-6868.
To age me, Cam, when I came out of journalism school, it was be right and accurate, and then it turned into be first, right? Like, work hard to get the information and the whole be first, in my opinion, not necessarily ours as a company or whatever, it has gone to the wayside. It's like be accurate and be factual in this day and age, because there are things out there nonstop that, and then be first is still there. Don't get me wrong. It's like a 1A, 1B thing.
Yeah. But
I as a social media world will sit on something until I'm absolutely 100%,
Yeah.
And if I'm unfactual, the first thing I do is go, my mistake, my bad. This is inaccurate.
Yeah.
And I apologize.
So for like a goaltender that the Winnipeg Jets did sign, they signed Isaac Phillips, sorry. That was one goaltender that they did sign. And
I thought Isaac Phillips was the defenseman.
No, defenseman Isaac Phillips. Yeah.
He's a defenseman they acquired late last season in a deadline.
Yeah, there's this. I was just looking at a website here that I'm trying to find out if there's any. It said defenseman attached to that. That's weird. But no, there's nothing to any goaltender from Washington unless I'm totally
he was
off.
acquired for the Moose last year from the Rockford Ice Hogs and the Blackhawks organization as a depth sort of.
Yeah.
Move.
So there was nothing from Washington. Anyways, phone lines are open 204-780-6868. You can call the Boston Pizza Jets at noon hotline, open 24/7 204-780-6800. Coming for lunch every weekday to Boston Pizza. Get a delicious main side and ice cold drink for only $15. Only at BP. The number one caller will be awarded a $50 gift certificate later on in the program. Kevin texts the show. He says, I saw an AI video of McDavid bashing Mark Carney. The things spoken and his mouth doesn't line up with the wording. This AI stuff can be dangerous, getting ridiculous. Yeah, Kevin, this is just this stuff is just going to continue. Yeah.
And again, if you have this much time, I hate to, I guess I don't hate to, the whole knocking of this. It's just not me.
Yeah.
I'm not going to take an hour and put together a video of somebody doing something that isn't real and putting it out and sit back and laugh and watch how it goes, or not laugh and just say, I want to see if this can go viral. I don't know. I don't get into that mentality at all. All I can say is pay attention. And I mean,
anyway. You have to re-verify things. That's just what it's going to be, because I just see this as something that's going to get better and better. Let's take a break. Let's come back on the other side.
We got another caller.
We'll go back to the phone lines. We'll look at some more hot takes. Dino's got a hot take for us. Says Chevy needs to send a roster player like blank. I'll tell you what Dino's talking about when we come back.
Noon with Cameron Poitras and Jim Toth on 680 CJOB.
So call the Boston Pizza Jets at noon hotline, open 24/7 204-780-6800. Coming for lunch every weekday to Boston Pizza. Get a delicious main side and ice cold drink for only $15 only at BP. The number one caller will be awarded a $50 gift certificate to Boston Pizza. We'll do that later on in the show, but let's go to Dino. He says, Winnipeg Jets at noon hot take. Chevy needs to send a roster player like Cole Perfetti along with one or two prospects and picks to Anaheim to pry away Mason McTavish. I like that you guys keep bringing up this idea, but you've set the bar too low and aren't looking at it far enough down the road. It's not just filling the 2C hole. Chevy needs a plan to replace Scheifele. Between Lambert, Yager, and McTavish, McTavish is the only one I've ever heard mentioned as a 1C potential. No, Braden Yager, I think.
Oh, Braden Yager
definitely.
And Perfetti can play center. I understand what Dino's saying, and I agree with him. That's why I would be very interested in the Rossies, the McTavishes. Yeah. He's right. It's not going to be cheap, but I do not send Cole Perfetti.
Yeah, and
then you've created another hole where on a line where you already have a hole on the left side.
Yeah, and I mean, if you're in the process right now of replacing Mark Scheifele, I mean, I just...
Plus, I'll be honest with you, I don't think
Anaheim
doesn't want Cole Perfetti, and I don't mean they wouldn't take him. Of course they would.
Yeah.
But he's too far advanced in his development. He's on the cusp of being a 60 to 70-point player for what Anaheim's doing.
Yeah.
Would they take him in a trade? Of course they would. But where they're going and how they're rebuilding, they want a Yager, a Lambert, a Solomonson, a first-round pick, and maybe a David Gustafsson to place center for a year or two till they develop.
Yeah, and the thing is, too, as well, I'm not, Mark Scheifele still is,
Scheifele's fine for 3 more years.
Oh, yeah, he's got
minimum.
He's over a point per game player last year. He had 39 goals.
Yager could be in his second or third year in the NHL. Before he's
39
before
goals,
Scheifele needs
48
to be replaced.
assists, 87 points. My thinking about replacing Mark Scheifele, Dino, right now is it's not even something I'm even worried about.
There's so many 3 to 4 years away from being considered, in my opinion.
There's other things you need to do. You need to bolster probably the bottom of your defensive core. You got to find that 2C.
Jonathan Taves is here at 37 years old to play second line center. You think at 33 or 34, Scheifele's not. He's fine for 3 to 4 years. And in 3 to 4 years, Yager could be in his second, third year in the league.
Yeah, Dino just adds on, it's worth it to let go of a roster player for potential 1C. Happy Friday. Happy Friday, Dino. Happy Friday, Dino. We'll be right back. Hey, thanks, more Dino. Hot takes, and the phone lines are open, 204-780-6868. Jets at noon brought to you by Wash Method Car Wash, 690 St. Anne's Road. VIP take on the text line and win a VIP car wash from our good friends at Wash Method. Phone line is open, 204-780-6868. We'll announce the winner later in the program. As we're coming at you live from the Boston Pizza Studio for gourmet pizza and pasta, bring the team to Boston Pizza. While you're at it, download the Jets at Noon podcast, free now on Apple, Spotify, face-to-face on YouTube, or wherever you find your favorite podcasts, with plenty of memorable Jets talk and episodes and special content exclusively found there, so you can take Jets at Noon wherever you go, whenever you want. Today, we discussed which team is going to be the first in the National Hockey League to get themselves out of the rebuild. So if you're curious about that, well, tune in. Check it out.
It is a rather interesting conversation.
It is.
On who you might think will take the next step.
It is very, very interesting. Very interesting. Yeah. And actually, I was going on, we are on YouTube, and I wanted to make sure I read this out because this was somebody commented. And this is from Lars Hader 9265. He said, "This just came up on my feed. I didn't know you guys were on YouTube. I always listen on Spotify and radio if I'm in the car. Maybe you do this, but maybe mention it all the formats that you're on." We do once a show. Having said this and watching a little YouTube, I'll stick to Spotify. Those faces are made for radio. Thanks, Lars. Appreciate that, Lars.
Yeah,
thank you.
No true words right there, Lars. You're a roller of good times and a teller of truths, Lars. Good for you.
Thanks for letting the secret out, Lars. I appreciate that. We were, thanks for letting it out. Letting the cat out of the bag.
Len just sent us a text too. Good afternoon, gentlemen. Jim, just read that rumors are Jets will be offering Connors $12 million on a 5-year contract. What do you think, Len?
Well, no way in bleep am I offering Kyle Connor a $12 million 5-year contract. No, if it's going to be for $12 million, you're going for the max. You're going to get him for $8 million.
Though. So we had the Jackson Blake deal yesterday that got ahead of the game of the new CBA, where the Carolina Hurricanes, after one season, and I like this Blake kid. He looked real good as a rookie. But after one season, they locked him up for 8 years at $45 million. So after one season, he got a Gabe Vilardi contract, albeit 2 more years.
Yeah.
Because you won't be able to do this in the CBA next year.
Well, that's what I'm saying with the $12 million.
The CBA, yeah.
So if it is going to be $12 million, and I don't think it will be $12 million, but if it would be $12 million, 5 years is ridiculous. It would have to be the 8. You'd have to get in before the CBA jumps in. Honestly, if it's going to be $12 million, but I don't think it will be.
If you're doing $12 million, you better get 7 to 8 years.
Well, that's what I'm saying. 5 years for that is just, it's just.
Now, wait a minute. What did I just say? At $12 million with another 3 years on that 5-year deal, that's a ton of. But look, I always thought, given what Scheifele and Hellebuck settled for 8.5, that he would get 9.5 to 10. The hometown discount, right? But Kyle Connor's different. And I don't mean Kyle the person and how he thinks. I don't know how he's thinking about this at all. But when everybody got re-upped on their mid-level deals buying into their free agent years, it was $6 million, $6 million, $6 million. Morrissey, Hellebuck, Scheifele, Ehlers.
Yeah.
Kyle got 7.1, which tells me the Jets understand that this is the NHL. You get paid to score goals. And if you're our highest goal scorer, then you're going to get paid. So, but when you look at these other deals, like Gabe Vilardi's a right winger making 7.5. He's in the top 15 now in the National Hockey League for highest paid right wingers. You're looking, I think it will be around 10.5 to 11 for Kyle Connor, but it would have to be in a 6-year deal.
I think it's going to be in and around 10. It might be a little lower. It might be a little higher, but I don't think it's going to get anywhere closer. I don't think it's going to get to 11. I don't. I think it's going to swing between 10.5 and 9.5. That's where I think this contract's going to land with Kyle Connor.
Yeah.
And
I don't know what Kyle's thinking, right? Artemi Panarin of the Rangers has 11.64 million AAV, and Jonathan Huberdeau of the Calgary Flames has 10.5. You got to be kidding me if you don't think Kyle Connor's not worth that.
Well, I do think he's worth it, but is that what the Jets have always made their own way on this sort of stuff, Jim?
They have.
They've never really looked
beyond.
They haven't looked at other teams and said, well, that's what that team did, but that's not how we operate. There's always been those comparisons, right? I mean, Igor Shesterkin, how much did he sign for? Right after Hellebuck was at 8.5. So, like, you'd have to think that those negotiations from the Rangers side, when they started talking to Igor Shesterkin, saying like, no, well, Hellebuck's making 8.5. Why the heck would you make any more than that? And then they ended up signing that contract with Shesterkin for 11.5, right? So I just feel the Jets make their own, they take their own path on here. I think there are comparisons across the league that you can look to. But I don't see that. You think there's going to be that much of a gap? So if it's $11.5 million for Kyle Connor, do you think there's going to be a $3 million gap between him and Mark Scheifele?
Well, this is what I'm saying.
Yeah, I don't see it.
It's not. Yeah, I think he's going to get paid more than Mark Scheifele.
Absolutely.
He's going to get paid more than the Hart Trophy winner.
Correct.
But those are positions where like Mark wanted to be here. Mark wants to be in this organization. Mark wanted to be a lifelong Jet. Does Kyle Connor? I think Kyle Connor wants to be here. I think Kyle Connor wants to win a Stanley Cup here. Does he want to be a lifelong Jet? I would think so.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I don't know if he's looking at a 5-year deal at 29 years old, and then he goes, get me to 34, and then I have another 2 to 3 years left in me, and I'll pick and choose where I go.
So Gabe Vilardi was on the show just this week, and he said he had a lot of conversations with Mark.
Yeah.
And about, the grass is not always greener. You'd have to think those same conversations.
Oh, yeah.
You have to think those same conversations were also being had with Kyle. And so,
but here's the difference.
When you have Vilardi come out and say, I see our Stanley Cup window wide open the next 3 to 4 years, that involves having Kyle Connor on your team. So I'm sort of reading I think Kyle Connor's going to remain with the Winnipeg Jets. I think he's going to sign here. I'm fairly confident.
I think he's going to sign
that.
here. I just don't know if it's a 4 or 5 year deal at 11 and 12 million, if it's a 7-year deal at 10 million, if it's, I don't know that. But here's what, and for everybody who often says this about Kyle Connor, and I spent this season once again taking tweets from people going, Kyle Connor's not the end all be all, blah, 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 blah. Yes, he is. He is a top line scoring forward in the National Hockey League. And he's never had a season where he didn't score 30 goals. The only time he didn't score 30 goals is when he scored 26 in 56 games. He would have scored 4 more in 25 more games.
Yeah.
He's a perennial 30-goal scorer who has twice have 90-point seasons. He's had an 80-point season. In 65 games due to injury, he had 61 points. That was missing part of the season. He is an elite goal scorer and point producer in this league. He's not just on the Jets, in the National Hockey League. And those guys get paid. Mitch Marner got $12 million, and he's only had one 100-point-year season, albeit a point-per-game guy.
Yeah.
He's getting $12 million. Rantanen's getting $12 million. He's going to get 10. I think that's your 8.5 for Scheifele and Hellebuck. Is Kyle Connor 10? And so I used to think 9.5. I now think it's 9.5 to 10.5. That's the quote unquote bargain Hellebuck Scheifele deal. Anything above that is Kyle Connor going, I need another mill here, because when it was $6 million for everybody else, I got 7.1. It's now, if it's 9.5 to 10.5, say it's 10, it's now 11, because Kyle's like, I'm Kyle. I score goals.
Chris texts the show and says Connor's plus minus is an issue. He's on for as many goals for as against. That's Casey's issue. Is he really helping the team?
Not anymore, he isn't. That was true the same as it was for Scheifele 2-3 years ago.
Yeah.
But not in the last 2 seasons.
He was plus 17 last year, Kyle Connor. Let's go to the phone
lines. And
lines.
if you look at plus minus and look at the Connor McDavids of the world, the Nathan McKinnons of the world.
Let's squeeze on Destry. Hey, Destry, what's going on? Thanks for calling.
How's it going today, guys?
Good. How are you?
Good. How are you?
Good. Traffic's crazy because of this construction, but what else is new in Winnipeg? I was calling to say, people are saying Shesterkin got this, Hellebuck got this, but you got to look at cost of living in New York compared to living in Winnipeg.
It's a big difference. Big difference, yeah.
That's why if Connor gets less than somebody else in New York who has the same numbers, it's because of the cost of living. It's going to cost them way less to live here than it would in New York.
Yeah, well, here's the thing. I saw this last night, actually, and it's the highest taxed teams in the National Hockey League on a $10 million salary or more. Number one was Toronto. The top four were Canadian teams. It was Edmonton, Montreal, or no, sorry, I apologize. It was Toronto, Ottawa, Vancouver, and Montreal. And then it was the three California teams.
Yeah.
And then it was Edmonton, I think, and Winnipeg Jets' highest tax team on a $10 million salary or more was 9th in the National Hockey League.
Yeah.
Now, for all you tax-free state lovers, Florida came in at the lowest, but still paid 36.7% tax. Because we hear tax-free states all the time.
Yeah.
Just because you don't have a state tax doesn't mean you're not taxed.
Also,
they have to fix roads and build bridges like every other place. There's a sales tax involved.
And what doesn't get discussed enough too as well, and Destry, sorry to interrupt you here, but there's a property taxes if you're playing in southern Florida are crazy, and in Texas is some of the highest. Texas has some of the highest property taxes as well there too. So they get their money. They get their money.
Yeah, these states aren't not building roads and fixing bridges.
Yeah, maybe we need to discuss
sewers.
more about cost of living, Destry. I mean, maybe that's something that needs to be discussed.
But that's what this indication was. It was this indicator was the Jets came in 9th in the National Hockey League overall, and the top 8 were the 4 other Canadian teams and 3 California teams. Right after the Jets were the New York teams, the Rangers. Yeah. Well, the Rangers.
Does their agent get their cut of his salary before or after taxes?
Oh, they get their cut. Their cut is their cut. It's not before or after taxes.
Is it on the principal or is it on after what he gets after tax?
No. If he signs a $12 million deal, the agent gets 3% on that $12 million every year.
And does that agent pay taxes here or wherever he lives?
Well, probably wherever he lives.
Okay. Have a good afternoon, guys.
Thanks, Jay. Destry, do you want a VIP car wash from our good friends at Wash Method?
Tax-free.
I would love it.
Okay, Destry,
that's awesome.
I'm going to put you on hold. I'm going to get you all signed up.
Just to go back to the Kyle Connor cost just as much. The plus minus, which we understand that stat isn't very accurate anymore, but Kyle Connor's plus minus on 97 points was 17, plus 17.
Yeah.
Nathan McKinnon's plus minus last year on 116 points was plus 25. Connor McDavid's plus minus on 100 points was plus 20.
Yeah.
He's no different than any of the elite players that play on the top line.
Let's go to back to the phones.
Anymore.
Hey, Kathy, what's up?
Hey, guys. Something Kyle Connor said when he was interviewed towards the end of the year, if he was going to sign a contract, was it wasn't just his decision. It was him and his wife's decision as well. It was a joint decision. And we need to remember that they have a young child now, and they may want to get closer back to the U.S.
Well, and that's my point, Kathy.
He's also a smart man for saying that, too, because what if he didn't say, he said, it's my decision and mine alone. Yes. Like, listen, anybody with any would say that, but go ahead.
I'll go home and tell them where I'm living. That's not a smart decision, is it, Kathy?
No, but you know what? I want him to sign, and I think he totally deserves at least $10 million. He's an amazing player, and these guys that are saying that he's not, they're not thinking straight.
I agree with you. And this is the other thing you always have to think about when you're going into free agency. The player is he control, but as a team, what would other teams pay this guy? And I'm not talking about the San Jose's who have cap space or the New York Islanders. What would another contending team do and pay for Kyle Connor? And all you have to do is look at the circus that surrounded Mitch Marner and Mikko Rantanen this year. That's how many contending teams went out of their way to pay these guys $12 million a year. That's Kyle Connor.
He is totally. And then the other thing is, it was very interesting that you guys were talking about the taxes. As a Canadian, and know lots of Americans that live down there, and the taxes, I think we need to talk about that more and what our tax rate is and what is the difference between the Florida's state tax and all this stuff versus a Manitoba tax.
Yeah.
That would be really interesting.
Yeah, you know what this was?
Talk about the economics, because this is a business.
Yeah.
And we need to remember that first and foremost for these guys.
Yeah, Kathy.
It's the cup.
Yeah, sorry. Yeah, they brought this up. This was actually discussed in the CBA, and I think it was quickly dismissed.
Yeah,
this is not something that we're even interested in.
But to your point, Kathy, when the Toronto Maple Leafs are trying to get Rantanen out of Carolina, Dallas and people in talks were
Thanks,
willing
Kathy.
to pay.
Appreciate it.
We're willing to pay him $12 million. The Leafs were going to pay him $13.75 to offset the taxes that you wouldn't pay in Dallas.
Let's take a break. Let's come back on the other side. Hey, we're going to give away that $50 gift certificate to Boston Pizza, and then we'll wrap up the show. We got one more caller on the line. We'll get to him before we go anywhere.
Who owns the KFCs in town? Throw in an outlet. Say this one is now yours as part of the deal. Free chicken anytime you want for you and your family.
Real quick, miss your chance. Get your thoughts on the show today. Call the Boston Pizza Jets at noon hotline, open 24/7, 204-780-6800. Coming for lunch every weekday to Boston Pizza. Get a delicious main side and ice cold drink for only $15 only at BP. The number one caller will be awarded a $50 gift card to Boston Pizza on Friday. Here's the winner. It's Ryan.
I just want to say you guys do a very, very good job.
Oh, stop it, please.
Letting
Ryan.
Winnipeggers know about the sports world. And to get on the other subject, Johnny Taves, welcome home, baby. Go, Jets, go!
Thanks a lot, Ryan. Just butter me up. You might get yourself a $50 gift card to
Butter
Boston
up
Pizza.
week for you right now. Like people say, hey, Cam, your hair looks nice. You're like, hey, here's $5.
Yeah, that's all I do.
Just
That
walking around the
I do that
station.
all the
Hey,
time,
I
yeah.
see you to say, here's a 20.
It's like I'm Tony Soprano, right? I just hand money out to people that say nice things about me. I'm telling you, next week's might be the guy who says the nicest thing about me. Wins a $50 gift certificate to Boston Pizza.
You are turning.
I can't make any promises.
You even told one of the younger employees to go get a drink, and they're like, what? Hey, here's $5. Go get a drink. Enjoy yourself.
Maybe a sandwich. What's that famous scene for The Sopranos? He goes, get yourself a nice sandwich, get yourself something to drink.
Yeah. Go out front. Go get yourself.
It was
Meadows' boyfriend.
Meadows and Finn or whatever. He told him the story about Vito. Go get yourself a sandwich, a drink,
go get
something
yourself
to drink.
With like $300. It's like, go get yourself. Go out front, get yourself a sandwich and a soda.
Thanks for
and you give
ratting out Vito.
$300.
Thanks for ratting Vito out. Marty, what's going on? Sorry.
Quickly, Marty, hang on. Kyle Connor, by the way, is going to be on with Richard Kluche this afternoon for the news to talk about his Team 81 ride for Parkinson's.
Oh, perfect. Oh, that's great. So maybe we'll get some inside track of where he's thinking about that. Stay tuned.
Yeah.
Marty, sorry, we only got a couple seconds here. What's up?
Hey, completely agree with you. If we can sign Connor for that 10 to 11 million, we should do it. Here's a guy that just works his butt off every shift, never complains, never whines about anything, not a problem child. One of the top players in the NHL.
I'm with you, Marty.
Yeah,
I agree.
I think that's what is going for them is like he's not a guy, and I don't know, he might, like Blake Wheeler ended up in New York for a year, right? At the end of his career, I think he might want to do that, but right now, I think he likes it here. I think he likes fishing, hunting with his teammates.
Yeah.
I don't think he's a guy who goes, I got to get to California and be famous. He's not that at all.
No, it doesn't seem like that at all. So I don't know. The 10 or 11, that would be like that 4 or 5 year deal. But if you're going to get him long term, we'll have to wait and see what happens. You know, it's going to be interesting when we see that number come out on AAV. It's going to be very interesting.
Yeah.
Thanks a lot for the call, Marty. Appreciate it. I'd give you a VIP car wash if we didn't give ours away already. But take care. Thanks for the call. Call anytime.
Okay, thanks. Have a great weekend.
Yeah, have a good one, Marty.
The disappointment of the no car wash.
Well,
Call back next week, Marty.
If Marty calls back next week,
just his heart sank there. He couldn't go to wash.
I'm gonna have a car wash.
You can still go,
waiting for
Marty.
him. Yeah, you can still go. Live your dream. Go to the wash method. Jim Tilt, take out at 2 o'clock. Thank you very much, every 4 producer shots. Everybody say